Hey, I'm Ryan Tyler with SKIER'S Marine. Today I'm here to walk you through what makes a Sylvan Pontoon and Pontoon different than everybody else on the market. That's actually how they construct their tubes and their understructure. It's pretty neat, so I'm going to be here to walk you through it real quick. The first thing I want to go over is that Sylvan is actually the only manufacturer that fully uses robotics to weld the nose cones and fold the nose cones, as well as roll the tubes and the welds. So you get a very true weld. They can produce a tube in just under 14 minutes, and it has little to no imperfections in it. So over time, you don't have to worry about your welds failing that you would traditionally see with 25-inch diameter pontoons. Even like the one we see here, this has a lower horsepower engine than with a 150, but they construct it to where it would actually hold all the way up to a 300. So they do something neat at the transom, so they reinforce it with knee walls, so you can actually obviously hold higher horsepower because that's here to stay. Two, they reinforce the transom at the back with a really big, thick piece of billet aluminum. So we have a lot of structural and rigidity support there to hold that high horsepower outboard. You can look at the attention to detail in the welds you see right here. You can tell that you can't see where it starts and stops. So that's that robotic weld that I was talking about. They do some really cool things too on their PR25 performance package. It's a full length lifting strake you see right here, and they actually taper it at an angle. That way it'll help water release as you're coming up on top of the water, so it'll give you a little bit better planing, make the entire tri-tune package fuel efficient. And we're going to actually put lifting strakes on both sides, so it helps it turn well as far as banking, so you actually get a little bank like you would in a stern drive. We have performance sheeting to block the water that comes off the tube, so you won't have to worry about wearing out your wiring over time with water. Everything is very robust as far as how it's welded. You can see in a minute how the hat channels and their understructure, there's no flex. And when they build the tri-tune with this package, they actually extend the deck backwards. So you can see we have a lot of extra deck space. That's actually to help support the transom of that outboard as well. Moving towards the entire length of this tube, one other thing I did want to point out is all tri-tunes from Sylvan actually have the gas tank in the center log, so it's off center line, so it doesn't matter where you dock to fill it up, and it also keeps all the weight in the center of the boat, so it doesn't lift side to side if you have a full tank of gas, because they come with a range of between 40 and 60 gallon fuel tanks, so that can be a lot of weight. The boat itself is attached with these really high-end M brackets that are also robotically welded onto the tubes, so you have a very true and perfect weld. So they're a little bit oversized, so they can hold the understructure that Sylvan uses. They use what's called a hat channel construction that's really neat. So it's two binding points to the tube and one to the deck. So what that does, it makes it really structurally sound. There's no flex, there's no rattle as you're going down the lake. And how they achieve the no rattle is they use a gasket on top of that hat channel that they bind the plywood floor to. So it kind of limits the vibration you get from the water as the boat's passing through it. The deck itself is actually constructed with fang bolts, as well as screws that actually expand to make sure you have a really true bind to the plywood. It's 3/4 inch marine grade plywood, has a lifetime warranty. It does really well in environments that are a little harsher. It just gives you a really nice stable ride. Moving along to the tube, you can see we have three main sections. So the cool thing they do is they actually pressurize all their tubes, and anywhere you see a weld like you have right here is actually a bulkhead, so it makes it really structurally rigid. They actually put a full length keel across the entire bottom to add rigidity as well. Also helps with handling. It's really neat. And then their nose cone, like I said, is actually folded by a robot. So you take all the human element for air out of it. You have heavy duty splash fins on either side to keep the water down in the boat dry as you're going through rougher waves. And then the nose cone itself is heavy duty with this really nice full length keel up at the top. So if you do run into something like a dock, or if you're beaching it, you don't have to worry about damaging your tube over time. So guys, that's a quick video on what we think makes Sylvan really spectacular as far as their construction goes. It's built really well, made to last a lifetime. This company's actually been building pontoons for 75 years, so they know what they're doing. So if you're in the market for a boat that you want a really nice, smooth ride, it feels really rigid and secure on the water, come check out a Sylvan at one of our locations.